Brad discovers Portia changed Heather's tests. October 11, 2024. Dan finds himself at a crossroads as Sonny prepares to confess, and Brad makes a shocking discovery in the lab. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. General Hospital spoilers, October 14 to 18. At Pentonville, Martin meets with Alexis and says the photo of Carly and Brennan has been left with Anna's assistant, and he had his PI do some more digging. He says his PI got Brennan's room service bill and proof of his whining and dining of Carly. Alexis still doesn't think this is enough to cast doubt on Carly and Sonny's alibi, and the only thing that will get her out is if Sonny confesses. Martin doubts that will happen, but Alexis fears that if Sonny comes forward to save her, Christina will be put at risk for obstructing justice. Anna arrives at Robert's office with a large file proving Alexis is innocent. She tells him about the gun they were sent, and that the serial number matches Sonny's missing gun. She says ballistics can't say whether the weapon was used to kill Cates or not. They both know Sonny is the guilty party, and he wouldn't have used one of his own guns to do the job. Anna wants to call Martin about this new evidence. Robert tells her not to be so hasty. At the PCP, Dex checks in with Dante. He heard about Lucky and is sorry, but he reveals he will get tested after his shift. He's surprised Dante is even at work. Dante says he's finishing some things to take a leave of absence. Dante asks about the bomb threat, and Dex tells him that it turned out it was just a gun that was dropped off, and the theory is it's the gun Alexis disposed of. He says the ballistics report can exonerate Alexis. Christina stops by Sonny's place and finds Michael sitting on the couch. She assumes Michael told her father that she went to see Anna. Sonny says that's not what this is about and reveals he's going to confess to killing Jagger to save Alexis. Christina becomes irate and says her mom said the police will think he's only doing this to protect her, and it will make things worse for her and her mother. Sonny says this is the only way to save Alexis, and he's going to tell the truth, and no one else will pay for Jagger's death except him. At the hospital, Carly talks with Lucas about Lulu. Lucas reveals that Ethan got tested but wasn't a match. Suddenly, Ava shows up and is surprised to see Lucas and asks if there is a special reason for the visit. Carly announces that Lucas is home for good and has taken a job as a trauma surgeon at the hospital. Ava wishes he would have told her, but Lucas says it's not as if they've never been close. Ava notes they are still family, and he can't wait for him to see Avery. Lucas says Carly sends him photos of her all the time. Carly notes that family is important to Spencer's. Ava says Lucas is still Julian's son. Carly quickly points out that Julian is the reason Lulu is in the condition she's in. Lucas asks for a minute alone with his Aunt Ava, so Carly leaves them. Lucas asks his aunt why she outed Christina's girlfriend. He says nobody deserves to be outed, which Ava agrees. She explains she was only trying to get custody of Avery by exposing Sonny's friend Natalia for being a bigot. Lucas says she's just like Julian, and she doesn't think about anyone but herself. Ava argues that Sonny would have done the same to her, and as for Julian, while he was deeply flawed, he loved Lucas, and he knows it. Lucas says there were several times he got close to Julian, but then he always did something to disappoint him. Ava says Julian never really felt he deserved him as a son. Lucas says Julian was his own worst enemy, and not all his memories of him were bad. Ava asks him to share one, as it's been a long time since anyone said a kind word about her brother. Lucas remembers how proud he was of his dad when he married Alexis and thought he could finally be happy with her. Ava moans maybe he could have been happy if he married anyone else. She blames Alexis for Julian doing the terrible things he did. Lucas says, "Good talk, got to go." Ava tells him that nobody should be judged solely on the worst thing they've done, and Julian loved him. Lucas says he knows, and he loved him too. Ava says she loves him too, and while they aren't close, they could be. He says he'll think about it. Ava doesn't want him to throw away his father's side of the family. He says he could never throw Avery away or her mother. Ava smiles. Cody speaks with Liz and notes that he came to get tested to try to help Lulu. Cody is concerned for Dante, who is a realist and is likely bracing himself in case Lulu doesn't make it. Later, Liz talks with Portia, and Portia asks Liz if she's had any trouble with Brad being back. Liz admits his work has been flawless, and he knows what he's doing. Cody talks to Brad in an exam room while he is tested, and the two catch up. Cody knows Britt would be happy to see him back here, and Brad admits he used her name to get in the door. Cody says it sounds like things are looking up for him. Brad says somewhat, and reveals his ex-husband is back. Brad and Cody exit into the hall, and Brad brings up the hospital gossip that Cody is Mac's son. Cody confirms it. Cody says he almost screwed up with Mac, but everything turned out well. Brad thinks if Mac could forgive Cody, then Lucas could forgive him. He hugs Cody and thanks him. Portia appears and asks Brad if he considers this to be professional behavior. She scolds him that he's representing the hospital when he wears that lab coat and that he is still on probation. Brad apologizes and says he will prove he deserves this job. He offers to work extra hours since the lab has been busy, but she says it's unnecessary. Meanwhile, Liz learns from the hospital council that they've been subpoenaed in a case involving Heather Weber. Later, Liz speaks to Brad and tells him about Heather's results, which were wrong. She asks him to investigate them and find out how the error was made. Brad is shocked she's asking him to do this and says he will get right on it. Later, Portia questions Liz about the subpoena. Liz tells her about Rick's multiple cobalt tests regarding Heather, and that only General Hospital's results were off, and Rick wants to prove the error was in their lab. Portia says it was a mistake, and mistakes happen. Liz says a mistake this big could affect not only Heather's case, but the results of other tests they've performed in the past that were used as evidence could be called into question. Liz lets Portia know that she's taking care of it. Michael escorts Christina to the hospital for her therapy session and says he'll come back to check on her later. Once Michael leaves her, Christina messages Dante, asking where he is. Dante is still at work when he gets the message and says he's headed to General Hospital. Christina responds she's already there. Back at the station, Dex tells Dante that he happened to speak to Anna, and she wants to keep the ballistics on the gun confidential, so keep what he said between them. Dante tells him no problem. He then gets another text from Christina saying they need to talk, and it's an emergency. At the hospital, Christina meets with Dante and tells him that their father is going to confess to killing Kate's. He suggests she trust their father and let him do what he's going to do. Cody catches up with Dante later and lets him know he just got tested. Cody can see Dante is concerned about something, and Dante admits there is new evidence in a case that could exonerate someone, but it's being kept confidential. Cody blurts out, "Alexis." Dante hushes him and tells him no names. Dante also says it appears that another person is going to come forward to confess and get said person off the hook. Cody puts it all together and says that if this new evidence can exonerate Alexis, then the cops are keeping it from her lawyer to get Sonny to confess. Cody assumes Dante is wondering if he should warn his dad not to confess to murder, as Alexis could be cleared. Dante notes he's still a cop and can't betray his badge. It would cost him his integrity, not to mention help his dad possibly get away with murder. Cody notes after everything that FBI agent did to his family, it comes down to what is more important, Don's family or his job. Back in Robert's office, Robert tells Anna that Diane has requested a meeting between them, the federal prosecutor and Sonny. Anna says last night Michael stopped Christina from telling her something about the murder, and Robert assumes Sonny is going to confess to protect his children. Robert says that's why they must keep the ballistics report under wraps, because if Sonny knows that it will free Alexis, he won't confess. Anna tells Robert that they need to break Sonny's alibi, and perhaps if Sonny's going to confess, Carly will want to change her statement. She doesn't want to see Sonny's kids lose both their parents. Carly is called into the station, and she meets with Anna. Anna wonders if Carly wants to change her statement about the night Kate's was murdered. Carly says she does not. Anna points out that if her alibi is a lie, it's obstruction of justice, which is punishable under New York law. Anna says throw in the death of an FBI agent, and she's looking at a federal offense. Anna then shows Carly the photo of her and Brennan at his Metro courtroom door and says it seems her interests aren't actually in Sonny, which is what she wants people to believe for her alibi to hold up. Carly says Brennan is a VIP, and she was making sure he is enjoying his stay. Anna reminds her that she's caught her with Brennan before, and she is making a big mistake. She says Brennan is dangerous, and she shouldn't get involved with him. Carly laughs and says that she's not going to take dating advice from her. Carly says she'll call Diane, but Anna says Diane will be very busy this afternoon. She also tells Carly they are done, but just know that loyalty is a commendable thing, unless you give it to the wrong person. Carly returns to the hospital and meets with Michael. He's lost track of Christina and is worried she may do something that will make what Sonny's about to do all for nothing. At Pentonville, Sonny speaks with Alexis and reveals he's meeting with the federal prosecutor today and is going to tell them what really happened the night Kate's died. Alexis wasn't expecting that and asks how Christina will handle this. Sonny already told her, and she is keeping quiet. Alexis says that both know that Christina was at the Quartermains with a gun that night, so she could be charged with obstruction of justice. He explains he's handling it, and he's going to get them all immunity before he confesses. Sonny says he would not let her go to prison for a crime he committed, and he's doing this for Christina. Alexis thinks part of it is for her, too. He admits, a little bit. He tells her to take care of their girl, and Alexis promises she will. Christina visits her mother later and tells her about Michael stopping her from coming forward to Anna last night. Alexis tells her she cannot do that. Christina says this all started when she went to confront Ava, and everything snowballed from there with Kate's and her father. Alexis tells her that the truth is Sonny did what he did and is going to confess to it. Christina cries if her father confesses, then he'll go to prison, and she can't let that happen. Sonny arrives at the station, and Anna tells him to follow her into the interrogation room. Suddenly, Dandy appears and says, "Dad, there is something you should know." Next on General Hospital, Martin confronts Anna about the new evidence he wasn't notified of. Brad announces he's discovered something interesting. Liz is at the station and asks, "What did you get me into this time?" Alexis tells Christina, "Your father got us into this, and he has to get us out." Curtis tells someone he deserves to know how this will all unfold.